What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Average Bob, and here we are, Giants Victory Monday. Let's go. Let's talk about the 14-7 win of the Giants over the Commanders, which was finally great for the Giants to get a little bit of the monkey off their back, being able to finally win a game and also get to score for a touchdown in the first half, which was one of the biggest things we needed to finally do. So all of the haters and losers, of which are many, were able to finally shut up about it. And yeah, obviously, like, a lot of people were talking about it because it had come up so much, but I was just so sick of hearing about it and was finally so glad to be able to just get them to stop talking about it. It was just nauseating. One thing that Tyrod Taylor is doing a little bit better than Daniel Jones. We could talk about Daniel Jones versus Tyrod at a different time. I just want to talk about the game today, is that he can put the ball in a money position downfield on a quick drop back pass. He doesn't need all the time in the world to just take a couple steps and let it rip. Like, prime example right here. Hyatt could come away with this. Wearing the 13, almost channeling the inner Odell Beckham there, but yeah, you were finally got Saquon back, who again put together a pretty good game. No, missing 42-yarder. I mean, you can't even make it up at this point. It was interesting to see from the Commanders just how bad, because I thought our offensive line was banged up and pretty bad, but watching the Commanders, you really saw them almost like that Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other. Like, this is kind of the Giants offensive line versus the Commanders offensive line. Who could be worse? But there must have been something on film that Wink Martindale saw, and I mean, obviously, really, it doesn't even have to be on film for how much the stats show that you could get to the Washington Commanders quarterback very easily. He's the number one sacked quarterback so far in the league this year, and it's kind of outstanding to see, like, the numbers that they show in the infographic for how many times he's actually been sacked through or into the game 7 here. So I almost feel bad for him a little bit that he just can't even. They just, some of these quarterbacks get their ass kicked. Howell, Daniel Jones, it's just tough. For a pretty banged up Giants offensive line, pretty good in the pocket here, right? And this allows us to get Wan'Dale into space. And you can see when Wan'Dale puts his foot in the turf, he's able to get upfield very, very quickly. I started him in fantasy because I have so many injuries and I'm pretty desperate, but I think he only had one catch for like the 26 yards there. So interesting to see. Special teams just still continues to be a blunder for the Giants, but we could talk about that when we get there. We already had the missed field goal and then 2 botched punt returns, but this is a great play by Tyrod. Let's just check this out here. 0-0, 151 remaining on the 41 going in. Giants love the creative motion, so you're getting Hodgins kind of running on the bottom. Saquon's able to chip after Pugh kind of gets crushed right off the bat. He's got Waller next to him, so you can see up top here that Chase Young. He's lined up outside of the tight end, so he's much further out compared to where he would be if he was lined up on top of Pugh. And Saquon notices that right off the bat. He's like, oh shit, his eyes are already looking there and the play action's already done. So Saquon just being able to help out there, even just getting in front of him a little bit, allows Tyrod to step up and allows Waller more time to get open downfield. Waller had his best game as a Giant, finding pay dirt. I can't remember if this was the one where he audibled, but he did have a great audible, Tyrod, where it might have been later in the game where everyone was doing like alert, alert, and he just did a quarterback draw. So they must have saw something too with this play because this is the design play. You already see everyone's kind of stock blocking and Waller's trying to get up there to our guy Mayo. And Waller doesn't block anyone. I remember watching that one. Offensive line looked pretty good today. It was interesting to see because we usually look so bad. I think the Giants got a bailout there on a penalty a little bit, but here you go. On the 15-yard line going in, 3rd and goal, need to finally get the monkey off your back and score a touchdown in the first half of the game. Look at this pocket. Just amazing presence as Waller gets over the linebacker into the second level. And that's a great throw by Tyrod. Great catch. And the Giants are finally on the board with their first half touchdown of the season. And our first touchdown at home. Touchdown at home thing, like people are talking about how we haven't scored and it's almost the end of October. Really, it's tough. I get it. In the modern NFL, you have to score. But if you look at what happened, the Giants got smoked week 1 versus the Cowboys. Didn't do anything. And then the second time, prime time against the Seahawks, they get smoked again. So it's like, this is their 3rd home game. And it's this late in, I feel like so much time has gone by already. And this is the first 1 p.m. home game too. So it's not, Giants not in prime time is truly a sight to behold. Howell lets one rip here. Just underthrows it. Banks is looking great so far this year, guys. I'm so hyped on Banks. He's doing great because you really don't hear too much about him, but he finally gets on the stat sheet and makes a great interception. And he's been really, really good, and it's great to see because rookie cornerbacks are pretty brutal for the most part, and I think Giants fans can remember, when we had Eli Apple, these were guys that we drafted very high that were consistently getting their asses kicked and always having PIs and just looking terrible, and everyone's making fun of us. So let's look back here. 9:06 here. Giants have a chance to get into the red zone, maybe score a second touchdown in the first half. You got a 2 tight end set here. You have Bellinger at the top, Waller at the bottom, and then looks like Hyatt and Slayton up top. Another good pocket. Tyrod's able to step up and just an under out of the backfield under route to Saquon, who makes a couple guys miss and gets into the end zone. It's great. It's great to see Saquon back, even all the trade rumors and all this stuff. As I do love Saquon, he makes so many plays. Let's look at it here. I do love the Giants' use of the quick play action. It has to be done. And this is what the Giants need to do, and this is why Saquon is so explosive and why he's such a playmaker, because linebackers can't cover him. All day. This will happen against anyone all day. Just put him in a quick little up and out route, and Saquon's to the house. 14-0 Giants with their biggest lead of the season. Defense coming alive on 3rd and 10. Big sexy Dexy. I mean, sorry for Nick Gates. You had no chance in this game, and I think the Giants kind of knew that, especially the ones that have been around a couple years when Gates was there. Dexter seems like he was sleeping like a baby all week, looking forward to this matchup to just be able to absolutely destroy Nick Gates in and out every single snap of the game. Oh, there he is, the big sexy Dexy. Love it. Big Cat Williams, Leonard Williams also played great too. Giants get the ball back at the 48 here going in, but not enough. I think there was a penalty right before that. I'm blanking off the top of my head, but let's look at it. Empty set. This was actually, you know what? I think this is one where when I was watching this live, I thought this Chase Young might have been offsides. Let's look. No, it's just a good jump. And we talked about Chase Young in the pregame preview. Interesting guy for them. They drafted him so high, and he had a pretty good game. It was also interesting to see from the Giants' perspective of, here's the botch punt. So you had Eric Gray drop one earlier in the game. I think that was Eric Gray's 3rd botch, and he did one in the preseason too. So, and I don't know where he got hurt or when, or maybe they just said, like, enough of this. We can't trust you to be back there. I personally would have said that if I was the coach. And you put a long-standing veteran like Shepard back there, and he can't even do it either. Maybe the wind was a factor. You saw that first Gano kick miss completely. And Gano's pretty automatic, so maybe something with the wind was really, really off today. Going back to the Brian Robinson touchdown, Mr. 50 Cent, many men. Okereke's done a pretty good job so far this season. It's just tough. The Giants were kind of put in a pretty bad situation with the Shepard drop right after the defense did so well and got off the field, and then they're asked to immediately come back in and try and make a couple stops here. It was just, I think, asking a little bit too much. And yeah, it sucks that they have to keep showing Shepard, and he had the towel over his head. He's like all pissed off. And these guys must have just been tired a little bit here, because you make a big stop. And good block on Okereke. See, because there's a good block by the guard there on Okereke, because look, Bobby has to put his hands down to avoid getting his legs taken out. And really the only one who could potentially make a stop here is McKinney on the left-hand side by the goalpost. And he's he got blocked by Logan Thomas. Teams in the NFL, they'll make you pay when you mess up on special teams. And there you go. Instead of getting the ball back and trying to score again, you put your defense back on the field, and even the Commanders will make you pay, and then it's 14-7. It was a tale of two halves this game, right? Because the Giants offense didn't really get going at all in the second half. You also there's one crucial play coming up at some point. Oh, great play by McKinney there. He might be officially off my list. 3rd and 9. I don't know what happened here. We're in an empty set. Maybe the Giants didn't want to. It's a quick play. They just called a quick play. Look, you could tell because Pugh is immediately cutting to get Chase Young's hands down, right? You could see him already going down. It's a quick throw. Maybe they didn't want to try and be backed up a little bit. If there's a holding penalty or give up another sack on your own 22-yard line, then you're getting sacked all the way back here and you're punting out of your end zone. Maybe this is where field position and all of that stuff really comes to play a factor in the NFL. And so you just give a quick one to Waller and he gets about 8 yards, 1 yard short. It is always funny how it comes down to us being usually a yard short. Line. Wink must have saw something that he knew that their offensive line is pretty terrible, and just bringing the blitz and dialing it up and allowing guys to just beat guys one-on-one, which was, this one was, the second it happened was kind of, this is going to get called 10 times out of 10. Even if he looked like he slowed up a little bit, it just, the optics of it, it's a very easy call for the refs in 2023. Agree with it or not, it just is what it is. And then you saw Gates coming over talking shit. I don't know why Gates would always do that. Him and Will Hernandez would always do that with the Giants and when they were on the team. And I think if Nick Gates, maybe it was frustration, if he thought a little bit or focused a little bit more on himself, not getting abused the entire game, he probably wouldn't try to fight McKinney, who was like, no one, you saw after that too, no one really cared at all about McKinney hitting him. Nick Gates was the only guy who had a problem with it. The announcers seemed he didn't touch him. I don't even know if I could turn up the volume here, but watching it live, it's like this was a clear, he touched him completely. 3rd and 9. Good tackle. I would just be on the sideline screaming, pick it up and go, pick it up and go. Don't stop till you get to the end zone. And is this the Big Cat? Yeah, Big Cat gets his paw on it. This is a huge break for the Giants here. It changes the complexity of the game when you start blocking field goals. The only plus play on special teams. Dable loves it. See, it is going to be amazing and to see how this locker room continues to move forward with the Jets coming up next week once you win one game. 3rd and 11. Oh my gosh. Look at Tyrod here. Front. They're only bringing 4 guys. They're only bringing 4 here, and you had Saquon as a little chip. Saquon on the chip right here. Pugh just had his hands full all game. I'm going to give Pugh the benefit of the doubt. Some of the other guys on this team, I'm not going to give the benefit of the doubt to. Andrew Thomas, where are you at, bro? You haven't played since week 1. Like, this sack's on Andrew Thomas more than it is on Justin Pugh because you're in week 6 of a hamstring injury. Like, come on, what are we doing here? Evan Neal, thank God he didn't play. And I would have liked to see him play because I think a lot of people would have, maybe not the people sitting in the front first rows, but I would have liked for him, if he gave up a sack, people would have talked a ton of shit. So I don't blame Pugh. I don't blame 79 either. And McCarthy and these guys are placed in impossible situations. But why I wanted to rewind that is because look at Tyrod's hand. He's like, here's my good hand. Poor Tyrod. Poor both quarterbacks. They both got their freaking asses kicked. Pass interference. Giants got 1. I really hope that they show. Sorry if it sounds like my voice jumps around sometimes. I'm trying to edit out the commercials for you guys because we see 10,000 when we watch a football game. We see 10,000 on YouTube. There's just commercials 24/7. So I'm gonna try to edit those out for you guys. Taking a shot. This is amazing. This brings a tear to my eye. Look at this. Tyrod with the ball. I mean, and this is, maybe I'll talk about this at another point, but I don't know. Like, everyone's going to say Tyrod is better than Jones, but it's like Daniel Jones never gets protection like this. Look at this. And also, Daniel Jones did play a good Cowboys defense, a good 49ers defense. He played better teams, so look at that. But can he throw that pass? Look at that. That is a thing of beauty. We saw, this is the second straight week where we saw Tyrod do it. The fans are all jacked up, where he was hitting Slayton a lot last week. And something you don't see too much from Saquon. Tiki was happy to make this about himself. Tiki Barber, who's a commentator on the game today, was happy to make this about himself and talk about how he had fumble issues. Whether you like Tiki or not, I mean, that's up to you. I want to do a video on Tiki just to talk about him because he is one of the best, or he is the best Giants running back in franchise history, but I think he takes a lot of pleasure in the Giants not succeeding because they never won a Super Bowl with him, even though it wasn't really necessarily his fault. He was happy to talk about Saquon fumbling there, and Tiki's just a attention whore at the end of the day. Dotson, I thought he was going to have a little bit of a bigger game because he crushed the Giants last year. That one made me really nervous. I was glad he got tripped up because he had some space. Thibodeau's playing a great game too. I mean, this is a Giants defensive front who played their best game of the year today, without a doubt. I think in the first half they had matched or exceeded the amount of sacks that they had all season. So I wish we could play the Commanders offensive line every single week. But 5 looks great. He's eating up 2 blocks every single time. Oh, I don't think they showed the Thibodeau dropped interception. I think that was just one of the craziest interceptions or dropped interceptions I've ever seen. It was a punt up in the air. Like, if he catches that, he walks into the end zone. And with the way the NFL is, at that point in the game, you're trying to think, you're like, no, maybe this won't come back to bite us. Maybe missing the first field goal in the beginning of the game won't come back to bite us. It always does somehow, some way. Because here you are with 1:04 left on the clock, 3rd and 5, and the Commanders are on the 7-yard line. Good coverage. 25's a baller, man. Let me tell you, he looks good. Good rush. Jihad. Simmons should be making this tackle and ending it, but let's look at it again here. 4th and 5. Giants are bringing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they're getting there very quickly. Howell is already, no one is really open yet. Like maybe just set McLaurin on the bottom, and Simmons is about to hit Howell. I mean, kudos for Howell to even get out of that. I think Dotson's kind of got to make the catch. It was a tough throw behind him, but Giants seal the deal. Also, the guy faking the injury here right there, ruining the game for them because there was the play clock was able to start again. I haven't seen anything like that in quite some time. It was really, really weird to even see because if he doesn't do that, the Giants have to punt, and then you have a chance at a Hail Mary or one, of crazy play where you're just throwing it around. At least you give yourself a chance. The Commanders are so bad that they can't even do that. Giants onto the Jets. Snoopy Bowl, MetLife Stadium. Let's go. Have a great week. Enjoy the Giants win. Have a good one, y'all.